So, coming at you commercial free, no commercials in the beginning, no ads. I love listening to videos at night. One problem with ads is usually they're extra loud, and some of them, if you have these two ads, they can be like a couple minutes each. I've seen where they're like 4-minute ads back to back, but no ads here. I wrote a couple things down. First thing I wrote down is right now with the certain places on lockdown, like San Francisco, like really locked down. I wrote in the last video we're on lockdown, but not quite. It's you can go places, but so many places are closed. It's like there's really no place to go. But you could go to a park. You could go on a nature walk, which we did. Me and my son did, which is awesome. That is the best homeschooling you could have. Is go through the woods with your father and just talk about whatever. So I wrote down online is king. Have you noticed you've been on your phone a little longer? I know I have. I have one of those where it shuts off after you've been on for a long time. And I've been hitting that and asking for more time lately because I'm home all day. Just have my phone on. But I'm really not watching a whole lot of news. One thing I did notice, this was like a day or so ago. I'm from Detroit. Really, it's like a city. It's like a big city, but it kind of looks like the plague went through for the last, couple decades anyways. Homes are just kind of falling apart. Neighbors are getting farther and farther away. If there's a house fire here and there, it doesn't matter because it's probably an abandoned house. But their buses just stopped running. So can you imagine not having a car? And it's the start of this and you can't get anywhere. So that would be, so here's what happened. The bus drivers are just treated really bad. I can only imagine people are just piled on there. They're probably pretty rude. The bus drivers are probably getting coughed on. Nobody really is looking out for them, so they just kind of like walked. So that's what happened. You can do whatever you want, but if people are just fed up, what can you do? I wrote down the world is going to change. I have a feeling that after this, things are going to be different forever. At least hands are going to be cleaner. I feel like more germaphobes are going to be around. I wrote down this little joke to go with my next part. There's 0 job losses right now for McDonald's counter workers because they've been using those machines to do all the way. You have to like go in and you have to order online on a machine. So none of those people are affected because they weren't there already. But I feel like robots, they've been talking about how robots are going to kill jobs. And I would almost assume after this, they probably will be. Companies, I haven't heard anyone talk, I really haven't been watching the news, but I would imagine companies are going to be like, if we had robots during all of this, we could have just kept running. Robots can't get sick. They're kind of cutting jobs in place of machines doing your work anyways. Like you don't need cashiers at McDonald's anymore. I heard Burger King will be delivering. If you have a big enough order, they'll deliver to your house. We're kind of out in the country, so we're pretty unaffected as far as like looking out our window. If it wasn't for him not having school and me not having work, and the grocery store being a little bit busier, I wouldn't notice too much difference going on. I wrote down, I noticed people are probably getting a lot out of their streaming television recently. Starz is running a promotion, Starz Television, and a lot of the comments are like, people want it for free. They're like, hey, during this time of economic hardship, why don't you give it to us for free? And then other people are like, yeah, and why don't you throw in some rainbows and lollipops while you're at it as a joke? Why would a company just give you something for free if that's how they make their living? I think a lot of people could actually switch things up a little bit, change the way they approach things, and this could be a perfect time if you're sitting at home to think of something else you've been wanting to do as like a side project and do it. I'm just going to do things around the house. If you would have paid somebody to come paint your windows, now you have the time to do it yourself. So I'm really surprised that companies aren't offering like more incentives. They're doing delivery and they're doing pickup, but they're not like dropping their prices. But one really cool thing is somebody put on Facebook, a neighboring town of ours, they wrote a list of all the restaurants in the town, gave you their phone number, it's like a directory, and their times of when they're open and closed, and it probably is a spreadsheet so it changes and opens. I thought that was really useful. Helps out the whole community, keeps those businesses running, makes it just easier for people to get access to that food. If that's what you want, we've been eating really good lately. The memes are off the chain. Somebody had one of those spaghetti, it's like a spoon, but it's got like teeth on it. And it's like said, hello, good friend, you're gonna be in, I don't know how the joke goes, but it's like, hello, old lost friend, you're gonna be really busy the next month. So I feel like I've been actually eating really well lately. I would always do a routine on Wednesday, go to KFC, and that's been broken. They say if you do a habit long enough, for usually a few weeks, and you are consistent, you can break bad habits. So this should be breaking a lot of bad habits. People, the highest risk of people are older people, but then they said heavier people and smokers, because it's a respiratory thing. So this is the time to quit smoking if you've been thinking about it, or just cutting back, or eating a little less. It's kind of getting less food at the grocery store, eat a little less. The weird thing is, I kind of wished for this to happen. I've always had this like secret, it's kind of like if I could have a secret power, one would be like have time stop, but I get to keep working, so I could like do extra tasks while everyone is like frozen in time. And that's kind of what's happened right now. Like literally everything's just came to a stop. I have no job responsibilities. I have all this just extra time. Actually, like things on TV look a whole lot more appealing, because even if I had the time to watch it, I'd be like, that's a waste of time. But nothing's a waste of time right now. You got lots of time. I've been watching extra movies, really good ones, inspiring ones, raking leaves. Every day I've gone out there and raked a couple piles of leaves, getting that yard to look nice. One strange thing happened. They were doing, since the school shut down, one of the very first things they decided to do was feed the kids that need it and couldn't come to school, which is kind of strange, because at one point feeding kids at school was kind of like like an extra thing they would do, and now it's more like it's a have to do because they're not getting food elsewhere. But in the community next to ours, I heard that there was like a hour to hour and a half wait to get food. They give you breakfast and lunch. Not the greatest, but hey, we know a lady that has 8 kids, so geez, can you imagine breakfast and lunch for 2 days for 8 kids? That's like, what is that, 32 meals? They had 500 people show up like one day, and we were talking to a lady that lives in that town, and she was like, we don't even have 500 people that live in this town, so like what's going on? And she's like, it's a really well-off town, so it's weird. It's next to one of the really well-off towns, and a lot of the people that have jobs in that really well-off town live in this town, so literally they have tons of money and very few options to spend it on. So it's my dad calls that a bedroom community, where you're making money elsewhere, but you're living in this town. You can get a bigger house in that town. So yeah, the memes are funny. Somebody's like, don't go in a room with 10 or more people, and the person's like, joke's on you, I don't even have 10 friends. And what was the other one? I just learned this week that my lifestyle is called social, what's it called? Exclusion, something like that. Basically, if you are the kind of person that likes just being home alone anyways, this is you might even enjoy this time more. Kind of like, I'm one of those guys that likes rainy days. I know most people don't. You know it's going to rain every now and then. You might as well just enjoy it, because it's going to happen. And other people aren't enjoying it. Whatever. All right, that's all I really got. I kind of went through that fast. I know you don't have so much time to just, well, actually you do. You have tons of time. So as you're trying to fall asleep, playing this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like, give it a comment. What's going on in your town? And did you enjoy this? Let me know. I will comment back. See you. Bye.